Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with my Makeup Empties for 2023. I have all of my products laying out next to me, so we'll go through them in category so you can see everything that I finished this year. I'll probably have to talk about quite a few products. I'm going to jump straight into it. But before I do so, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So let's start with primers, and I actually have 5 primers that I finished this year. First up, we have the e.l.f. Hydrating Primer Serum, which looks like this. It was okay. I didn't really feel like it was particularly moisturizing, nor did anything really for my makeup. I guess it was a nice step, but I definitely wouldn't repurchase this one, so that is the first product. One that is really nice though, but I wouldn't repurchase because of the price, is this one right here. This is the Pat McGrath Primer. It is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Primer, and I really like this one. It was hydrating yet blurring, and it worked really well for my skin. However, this is quite expensive. I didn't actually buy this myself. I got it as a free gift with purchase, and I did really enjoy it while I used it, but again, I wouldn't repurchase this one for the price. The only one out of my primers that I would repurchase and actually have already in a bigger size is this one right here, which is the Glow Recipe what is it called? Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewdrops. I actually haven't bought any of these, the ones that I have. I got them in like kits or free gifts with purchase, things like that. But I had this left mini size, and I used this one up. And again, I have a larger size that I'm going to start using because I really like this one, and it's definitely one that I would continue buying because I feel like it's hydrating enough as a base, and it really plumps up my skin. The next 2 products I have are both like kind of, I guess, potted products. The first one is my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I talked about this one before. I know this one is a favorite for a lot of people, but I just didn't really like it that much. It was fine. I didn't really feel like it blurred my pores. It was hydrating, but not very smoothing, so I wouldn't repurchase this one. Then we have this one here, which was a Becca Under Eye Anti-Fatigue Under Eye Primer. This one, I don't think you can even get it anymore because Becca isn't around, but I wouldn't repurchase this one anyway. I got it in a kit together with the under eye corrector, and yeah, it wasn't really a favorite. I actually didn't use it underneath my eyes, and then I actually used it like in my, like this area here, like in my T-zone, I guess. But yeah, I wouldn't repurchase this one. It's kind of similar to the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer in like the feeling I have. I didn't really feel like it blurred too much. It helped smooth it a little bit, but not too much. So that is all of my primers. Moving on, next we have foundations, and I have 4 foundations to talk about. The first one I'm going to talk about is this one here, which actually broke. It was in my empties bag, and then I accidentally stepped on it. So this one is, yeah, I don't have the full thing, but this was the EX1 Invisiwear foundation. I already repurchased this one. This is the second one that I have of this, and it worked fine, but towards the end I didn't really like it that much anymore, so I don't think I would repurchase this one again because I have found things that I like more. One that I finished up mainly as a mixer, but also in summer, is this one right here, which was my Garnier BB cream in the shade medium. I really like how this one looked on my skin. I don't know if they do this specific version anymore because I had this one for a really long time. Again, it worked really well, but it was too deep for me to use all year round. So I probably wouldn't repurchase this one. And again, I have other things that I like better. But I did like panning this one at least, so that is the Garnier BB cream. Next up we have my Maybelline Perfector 4-in-1 Glow Makeup in the shade Fair Light. This is like a base kind of product, but I used it as a foundation. I would use some concealer. I really like this one. It creates a light base, but it has enough coverage that I really liked it all over my skin. It was definitely glowy, but it wasn't too glowy, so I really did like this one. I'm curious to try the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. I have that one in a deeper shade, but I want to try that one in summer to see how I like that one in the similar way to this. Because originally I was planning to use this one as a base, like as a primer base, I guess. But I did really like it as like a light foundation. So that's what I'm going to try with the Charlotte Tilbury one as well. And if I like that one the same way I do this one, I'll probably buy that one in a lighter shade instead of this one, because even though this is like cheaper, I went through it so quickly, so I feel like that one would be probably better value actually. Then lastly, for foundations, we have this one here, which was my XX Revolution in the shade FX 3.5. I had this one in my yellow period pan for a really long time, and I honestly really disliked this foundation. It looked nice initially, but it broke down so quickly on my skin. I have talked about this so many times, but I have never experienced a foundation break up that quickly on me ever. So I used this one. It was fine for working at home. It was fine for filming when I took my makeup off straight away. But yeah, like if I had this one on for more than like 2 or 3 hours, my makeup looked horrendous. So this one kind of made me almost fall out of doing makeup at home, is for myself, because it just like didn't look very good. My eyes were still fine, but my base just did not look very good. So I'm really happy that this one is out. It was fine as like again, filming makeup, because it wasn't on for very long when I used it that way. So that's also how I used this one up. I have 2 concealers to talk about, and I have them right here. This one here is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in the shade Light Sand. I have had 2 of these before and I really like this formula. I would definitely repurchase this one again. And then another one that I've had quite a few times and repurchased is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. And this one it's rubbed off, but I think it was like the shade 10 or something like that. Yeah, really like that one too. I probably don't like it as much as I used to do. This one was really, really good back in the day. But I feel like now concealer formulas have come a long way. I don't think I would repurchase this one unless I was kind of stuck in a situation where there was nothing else around. It's not bad by any means, but I just have other things that I like more. I have 3 powders to talk about, and they're right here. So we have one loose powder, which I'm going to start with. This is the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. I really, really like this one. It is probably my favorite setting powder that I ever tried. I have mentioned before that I really want to try the Huda Beauty one. And again, if you have any other loose powder recommendations, leave them down below. But I really like this one. I already purchased that, and that's what I'm using today. I like kind of setting my under eye with this. And I honestly just use this one as my like one and only powder when I do my makeup in the morning. And then I use a pressed powder throughout the day if I need to touch up. Yeah, really like this one. I will probably continue to purchase this one, although I do want to try a few other things. But for now, this is my favorite. Then we have a pressed powder that I was dying to try for a long time. And it is fine, but it's honestly not my favorite. I feel like it was too heavy on my skin. And that was my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural in the shade Light Plus. So this one looks like this. So you can see I've used up all of the powder in there. Again, it was fine, but I definitely wouldn't repurchase this one again. But I was happy that I gave this one a go. And then the final powder, which I would definitely repurchase, is this one right here, which is my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Setting Powder. I can't remember what it's called. It's completely rubbed off on the back. But I love this one as a touch-up setting powder. You can see I've already finished all of it. Yeah, it was really, really good. I definitely enjoyed this one, and I would repurchase it. I'm trying to go through a few other powders this year, but this is definitely one of my favorite touch-up powders throughout the day. I have one bronzer, and that one is my Maybelline City Bronzer. It looks like this. You can see I have finished this one. This was brand new at the beginning of the year, or basically brand new. And I finished this one completely last year. It was really, really nice, and the packaging broke though, which is why I wanted to use it up. I'm still on the hunt for my perfect bronzer. I have a few more that I want to pan in my collection. This year I'm hoping to get through, I think, 2 more bronzers. So yeah, this one is done though, and you know, I probably wouldn't repurchase this one because I have other things that I want to try. And on my priority list of like what I want for bronzers, like what I want to try next, this one just isn't there. So although it was good, especially for the price, I have other bronzers that I want to try. Then the next one is probably one of the more exciting empties for the year, and that is this one here, which was my highlighter that I finished this past year, and that is the Mary Luminizer from The Balm. If you follow my Yellow Product Pan, you know that I was working on this one for a long, long time, basically 2 years straight. And I finally finished this one this year. It was such a feat to finish, but it has a lot of product in it. I think it was like 8.5 grams, which is a lot. And although it had a little bit of use before, there was still a lot of product left in here. So, you know, it took a long time, but I'm really happy to have this one out. So next up we have blushes, and I actually have blushes to share with you. I have 2 that I finished in the past year, which again is really, really exciting because blushes take a long time to finish. And both the one that I managed to get through this year were quite big blushes. The first one is this one here, which I finished most recently, and that is the Dior Rosy Glow blush. This one has 7.5 grams, so again, a really, really big one, and this one is done. Again, I didn't have too much use on this one at the beginning of the year, so it's quite a feat to finish this blush, but I probably wouldn't repurchase this one now. I have a similar blush already from a different brand that I will keep as a replacement for now, and then maybe in the future, once I get into pink blushes again, I will repurchase one then. Then the second one that I finished is this one right here, which is my Coralista blush, and you can see it's all empty too. I don't know how much is in here because the text has rubbed off, but again, I think this one was quite a big blush. But I did have pan on this one and some use on it already at the beginning of the year. But yeah, I'm really excited to have 2 blushes finished this year because I do really need to downsize my blush collection. So next up we have like a miscellaneous thing. This is a brow gel. This is the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter, which was like a clear brow gel. I quite like this one. It's definitely, because I have really stubborn brows. They just don't want to hold very well. And this one was supposed to be really good, and it is quite strong hold, but still not strong enough hold for my brows. So even though it was good, I probably wouldn't purchase this one because I'm still on the hunt for my perfect brow gel. I have 2 eyeshadow primers next. One of them is a regular primer, which is the P. Louise base in the shade 02, which was just like a skin toned one. I'm currently trying to pan the white one, which is fine. This really isn't my favorite formula when it comes to eyeshadow base, so I'll probably try something different when I finish the white one. But it was decent, especially for the price, because this one lasted me for a long time. You can expect these to last you probably at least a year. And considering, I think they're £10 and they're really good value for money, but again, it's not my favorite, so I will definitely try something else in the future. And if you have any recommendations for eyeshadow primer, again, leave them down below. Then we have this one here, which is a glitter glue. This one was from Too Faced. I haven't seen this one here in the UK again. I don't know if you can get it here. I think this one is still available, but just not here. I like this one. I am currently working on one from the Pastel Roses, which I quite like. It's more of a gel kind of formula, which I prefer. So I'll probably continue buying that one, or I might try the NYX one next. But yeah, this one was good, and it lasted me for up to the day just because it's such a big container, but I'm not too fussed about repurchasing it. So here we have all of the mascaras that I went through. I have 3 of the Sky High mascaras from Maybelline. Really love this one. This is one of my absolute favorite mascaras. I think that one in collaboration with this one, which is my Lush Paradise mascara from L'Oreal. All of them are in waterproof. I would say these are probably my top 2 formulas. Maybe the Lash Sensational, the original one as well, is up there. But yeah, love these mascaras, as you can see. And then I also had 2 non-waterproof mascaras that I finished this year. I had this one here, which was from Hamish, and it was, I can't remember what it was called, but it was like a smudge-proof kind of mascara. It was quite good. I have really stubborn lashes though, so I need to use a waterproof mascara to make my curl hold. But for example, for today, when I'm wearing falsies, I'm wearing non-waterproof mascaras because it's easier to get off, and you can't really see my lashes very well when I'm wearing bold lashes anyway. So that is the first one. And then secondly, for non-waterproof mascara, I used to use this MAC Magic Extension mascara, which I honestly really didn't like. I got this one as a free gift with purchase when I bought that powder from MAC, as well as the Face and Body Foundation. I got this one as a free gift with purchase. And yeah, it wasn't a favorite at all, so I'm happy that I used that one up. So next up, we have a couple things that are really exciting, because that is eyeshadows. I have a few things to share with you, and I'm going to start with, I guess, the least exciting thing for me first, and then move my way up. So first up is the Stila Glitter and Glow in the shade Kitten Karma. I really like this one, but yeah, I worked on this one for quite a while actually, so it took a while to finish. But that one is the first that's done when it comes to eyeshadows. Then I had a single right here from Isadora. This was just the Potter single in cream. I don't really like this one. It was a really good cream eyeshadow, but I have tons and tons of them in my collection. And it came from a palette I don't even know if they make anymore. It was like an all matte palette. And the formula of them are really good, to be honest. But yeah, I wouldn't repurchase the whole palette just for one shade. Then next up we have this one here, which is a Super Shock shadow from Colourpop. This was the shade Revolution, which was like a muted kind of purpley shade. You can see I completely finished this one, which is really exciting. Took quite a while to do, but I love the shade, so it wasn't too difficult to finish. So yeah, that is the next one. Then the most exciting, probably empty out of the whole bag, and also when it comes to eyeshadows, is this thing here, which is my Modern Renaissance palette. I panned this one last year, but I had a few shades hanging on this year, which I managed to finish this year. That's why I'm including this is empty and not last year. So you can see how beautiful that clean palette is. It's so exciting every time I open this one up. I don't really know what to do with this packaging anymore. I kind of want to keep it around just for memory's sake, and it's actually like one of the first big palettes like this I finished every single shade to completion. Usually I leave like you know, the deepest shade or something like that. But this one I did finish all of it, which is again really, really exciting. So that is the next one and last for eyeshadows. So the last category that I have to cover are lipsticks or lip products. And the first thing I have are 3 lip liners right here. I have the lip liner from Essence, in the shade Satin Mauve. This one is done, as you can see. Then we had this NYX lip liner in the shade Prune. It was like a really dark purple, as you can see there. Really wasn't my favorite, but it was nice enough to get through. And then lastly, we had this red kind of lip liner right here, which was from a random brand called Raphael, I think. It was just a red color. Didn't really like it that much. It was quite old, to be honest, and maybe that the formula had gone off. But yeah, I'm happy to have all of 3 of these out. I have 2 glosses that I finished in the past year, and they are both here. This one took the absolute longest, and it was my NYX body gloss in the shade Apple Strudel. Yeah, this one took quite a long time. You can see it's completely empty, and this one has a lot of product in it. It has 8 milliliters, which again is a lot. So took quite a while to finish, but I'm happy to have this one out of my collection. I like this formula a lot, by the way. It's just the color that wasn't right for me, so I wouldn't repurchase this color, but I would repurchase the formula. And then the second one, again, is similarly, I would repurchase the formula, but not this color, and that was the shade Lavendering from Pat McGrath, which was just like this weird kind of gray, kind of silvery with purple sparkles color, but it just also has like a bit of a green tint to it, which is really, really weird. Wasn't my favorite when it comes to color, but I do again really like the formula. I have this one here, which is my NYX soft matte lip cream in the shade Antwerp. I really like this one. I am just finishing this one up actually at the end of the year. It took me all year to finish. Again, I like the formula of this one, but not the color necessarily. I do have a couple others from this formula in my collection, and I really like them. But I wouldn't repurchase this one until I get through them, and even so, I have other kind of similar effect lip products that I prefer. The one that comes to mind is the Kaleidos Cloud Lab lip paints. That's what they call, right? Yeah, I prefer that one over this one now, and they kind of are like similar type of products. Then we have just regular bullet lipsticks next. First up, we have this Colourpop lipsticks in the shade She Bad, which was a really, really light nude. You can see it right there. This one I used as a mixer lipstick mainly. It was really, really nice, but I'm happy to have it out. Then we have this lipstick here, which was from Chanel. This one is the Rouge Allure lipstick in the shade Pimpante, which was just a kind of light peach shade. You can see it right there, and it is completely done. Yeah, it wasn't my favorite shade. I like this formula though. Again, I have a few more shades of this formula in my collection, but yeah, this color just wasn't a favorite, which is why I panned it. I didn't hate pan it, but I'm happy to have it out. Then the 2 most recently finished products, we have this one here, which is my Smashbox mini lipstick in the shade Fig. This was one of their Be Legendary lipsticks, and this one looks like this. You can see again, it is finished. It was just like a plummy kind of shade, and quite liked it. But again, wouldn't repurchase this kind of color, mainly because I have it over and over again in my collection. And also, this is quite a smeary formula, which wasn't my favorite for this type of color, because you have to be quite careful when it comes to, you know, wearing it, because you don't want it to go everywhere. Then the last thing I have to share with you when it comes to lip products is this one right here, which is my Becca lipstick in the shade Dusk. And as you can see here, I have a tiny bit left, but I am pre-filming this a couple of days, so I will finish this one off before I post this video. So that's kind of why I'm including it anyway, because it is going to be in my 2023 empties. But yeah, that is the last product that I have to show with you when it comes to lip products. Then we have 2 little miscellaneous nail polishes. I always include these 2. We have 2 kind of base coats. The first one is the Nails Ink, what is this called? Nail Kill base coat. Really like this one. I already purchased this one. It's probably my favorite base coat that I've tried, so I like that a lot. It also works really well with eyeshadows nail polish, by the way. And then we have this random one, which is the Eveline SOS Brittle and Broken Nails. I got this one from my friend years and years ago. I don't know where it's from, but I finished this one too in the past year. So those are all of the products that I have on hand today, but I have a few other things that I want to mention, which I do not no longer have with me. First up was a MAC lipstick in the shade Snob, which was a really cool toned kind of pink shade. I finished that one up in my year-long lip product pan, so that one is finished, but I'm back to MAC that one. Same with the next one, which is the shade Honey Love, again from MAC. It was a really light nude. I also finished that one in my Product Apocalypse, so that one is also done. I also have the MAC eyeshadow in Omega, same thing, back to MAC that too. I was trying to back to MAC as many things as I could before the back to MAC program ended or changed. So that one is also finished. Then I have one which was a single eyeshadow, which I can't find for the life of me, like the packaging for it. But that was the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone eyeshadow, and it was like the kind of light bright green in there. Finished that one up too, and that was in my rolling product pan. And then the last thing that I don't have to share with you here is my YSL Rouge Pure Couture lipstick in number 13, which was a orangey red, and I worked on that one again in my Product Apocalypse. But I lost that lipstick when I had just the tiniest bit at the bottom, probably only like 10 more uses and it would have been done. And I lost that somewhere. Don't know where it's gone. I haven't found it since. But I do count that as an empty because I was basically completely done with it, and I worked on it since it was really full. So those are all of the things that I finished this year when it comes to empties. Granted, I have a little bit more time, but I don't think I'm going to finish anything else in the next like week or two that I have left of the year. I am also obviously panning some eyeshadows in my Panda palette, things like that, but I'm not going to include the palette until it's completely finished, which it won't be this year, I think at least. But yeah, that's why I'm not including any of that. So I have finished like more kind of, for example, individual eyeshadows than I am including here, but they might be still in palettes, and that's why I'm not including them in this video. But I really hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know if you're tracking how many things have you finished this year. But otherwise, I really hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys!